Good afternoon. So this presentation represents assignment 3 for VET 640 for myself, Kevin Ellard, and it discusses two emerging wildlife diseases that occur in my region. Basically, the brief of the assignment was to look at a wildlife species that has been involved in the emergence of infectious disease in humans, and also a wildlife species that has been affected by an emerging infectious disease. In addition to this, obviously, as I said before, we were asked to choose examples from our own region, which in my case is Tasmania. The disease that has affected humans, I'll be discussing tularemia, and the wildlife species that has been affected by an emerging infectious disease. In that case, I'll be discussing abalone viral gangrenitis. First up, I just wanted to talk about the region that we're discussing very quickly. As you can see by the top photo, we're talking about the island state of Tasmania, which is located to the southeast of mainland Tasmania. This region is approximately 40 degrees south and therefore has a cool, temperate climate. The region also includes a number of the Bass Strait Islands to the north, and it is well known for its wilderness areas. In general, the geography we're talking about is in the areas of concern is very rugged and has very dense foliage associated with it. So basically, if we look at Tasmania a bit closer, of particular interest is the western region of Tasmania. And this area has limited population and also limited agriculture. As you can see by the map representation, there appears to be very little clearing of forest areas that has been undertaken. Talking about marine activities, the whole of Tasmania has a vibrant abalone fishing industry, and that occurs around the entire coastline and includes the coastal areas of Bass Strait Islands. So the first case that I want to discuss is the disease tularemia. Tularemia is a zoonotic disease caused by the bacterium Francisella tularensis. This disease was first described by a gentleman in Japan by the name of Ishiro Ohara, and he took livers from infected rabbits and rubbed them over his wife's leg in an effort to establish disease in her. The reference did say that she was a willing partner in this, but it didn't say whether she survived. The disease was also described later in 1911 in the United States, at which time the cause was confirmed. Whilst doing research for this presentation, I noticed that tularemia is known by a number of different names, and it appears that the name varies according to region and also according to the group that appears most at risk, or it has been attributed to persons that have investigated the disease. So in the United States, it's commonly known as rabbit fever or deer fly fever, whilst in other areas it's commonly called glandular tick fever, market-men's disease, which is an interesting one, Francis disease after the American investigator, and then things like water rat trapper's disease, and Ohara's disease after the initial investigations in Japan. So why is tularemia an important disease? In many cases, it causes an acute fever or febrile illness, but this will vary according to the route of infection, plus the animal host response to this infection. Symptoms range from skin ulcers, pharyngitis, ocular lesions, regional lymphadenoma, and in some cases, if it's aspirational, pneumonia. Probably the most important thing is that the mortality rate in untreated cases can be up to 60%. So of most significance, tularemia is known to be a highly infectious organism. In fact, it's so infectious that it's been previously used as a biological weapon and is a member of what they call the Black Six. This list of key biological weapons includes things like anthrax, botulism, and of course also tularemia. There are actually 4 subspecies of tularemia recognised, and these subspecies have been grouped into type A and type B groups. The type A and type B subspecies are considered to be the principal human zoonoses. There is one other group, and they are also considered to be a disease primarily of the Northern Hemisphere. So,